welcome into the channel, Rockstars. It is, of course, Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. It is officially election day here in the United States. If you're not in the United States and you're one of my viewers, you can bypass this, but you may want to hear it anyway. So first of all, guys, hopefully you did go out and do your thing if you are eligible, if you're of age and all those requirements to vote. Obviously, I did here in Florida, so do your thing, guys. No matter who you vote for, just get out there and do it. A lot of people fought a lot of years and a lot of battles for us to have that right, so make sure you take advantage of it. Also, no matter what happens tonight, please be kind and nice to your neighbors, especially in my comment section or across social media. I don't imagine that tonight's decision or whenever it comes in the next few days is going to change a lot of people's minds, but we still have to live with it, and we still have to be neighbors, and we still have to be friends and family and, you know, fellow Americans. So let's stick to that. Today's video is going to touch on that. I don't want to talk about the election, anything else beyond what I just said, but we have a new year, a new country, potentially a new leader, a lot of new things happening. And I think a mistake that a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, resellers, people make is that they get stuck in one process, one thing that they have going on, and they don't reach outside of that. So you're probably asking yourself, why am I wearing these headphones? Why am I talking into this crazy sounding mic? Which, by the way, if you guys could let me know, if you're new to this channel, go listen to one of my other videos beforehand. But normally I use these Rode clip-on mics, which are great. I've had these for a couple years. They were like $200 brand new. They're fantastic for out in town and mobile, but this mic is by Rode. It's called a podcast mic, and you can hear why it's called that, because it sounds like a dynamic mic that a podcaster like a Joe Rogan or somebody else might use. In fact, a lot of them do use this exact mic. And this mixing board here, which is like a sound board, it's pretty cool because it even has some pre-loaded voice things
where you can like change your voice, which is pretty cool, right?
Anyway, so it has stuff like that, and it has, like, you know, the crowd applause and all sorts of things that you can do to make it sound much cooler as you play with all the sound effects. So the point is, I have this equipment because I'm starting a podcast, which I mentioned in the previous couple of videos, I think. And it's not reselling or business related, although we're going to touch on those topics. It's going to be more of like a fireside, chill, relax, unfiltered sort of sit down and just talk and BS with the neighbor guys. When I say we, that I'm going to be filming this with, I actually bought multiple setups. I bought 4 headphones and 4 microphones and 4 connecting cords and boom arms, and then of course the mixing board. So, you know, this is something that I've wanted to do for a while. Podcasting's super popular. I love it. I love listening to them, and I think that it's a good, you know, project for me to work on. Now, this isn't a project to make money. I spent, full disclosure, like $1,300 on all this equipment to see what would happen. Obviously it has a dual purpose. I can use the audio for this YouTube channel. Do you like this audio better than you like the microphones? I don't know. Tell me how you feel about, you know, you can hear why it's called a podcasting mic. But I'm working on a new project because eventually I want it to be something, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year down the road. We'll see if it becomes something great. But I preach this on this channel is to adapt and die. If you don't adapt, you'll get eaten. You know, my motto of move on is if something's not working in your business, I'm not saying necessarily abandon it. I'm saying always be looking for new projects and new opportunities and new things, whether it's a new type of merchandise. A lot of you guys get stuck in this clothing thrift store. Look for electronics. You walk right by the electronics or the toys because you don't know anything about them and you're intimidated. Guys, I had to learn all that stuff on my own. Nobody taught me that stuff. I used to watch videos from Rake and Profit and, you know, Chris, you know, Bonafide Hustler and College Picker and all these people, even way back to Redneck Picker. Keep your head on a swivel, guys. I wonder whatever happened to him. Anyhow, as I did watch videos and I learned stuff, I went out and taught myself so much stuff, not just about reselling in the business. I taught myself YouTube. Those guys didn't have videos about how to be a YouTuber back then. I had to learn all that. I had to learn how to do titles and thumbnails and upload and, you know, get to 100 and whatever, 40,000 subscribers or whatever it is. It's things you have to stop being intimidated and start planning and projecting and just learning yourself, you know, teach yourself, be independent, you know, use YouTube videos. God knows I look at YouTube videos to learn everything, right? Or Reddit or Google or TikTok or Instagram, and I ask questions, but I'm head first into learning stuff and getting started myself, because the hardest part of any new project, new business, or new part of a business is the getting started part, right? People just sit around and mope about it forever. Once you get started and you dive in, generally you'll advance and you'll move on. And so this podcast is just one thing that I'm working on. Obviously I have a listing service and a fulfillment center that is pretty much on autopilot since Tim took over the logistics and the ownership side of it. And he runs everything and I take care of the marketing and advertising and back end stuff. And we put our all into that service, and we love all of you guys, and we do our best job ever that we possibly can. But that's just one stream of income. If for any reason that ever went away, I want to have 10 other streams of income. I don't want everything in one basket. The only way having everything in one basket makes sense is if it's making so much money that even if it struggles, that it's still making enough to support you, or if it makes you so much money so quickly that you just have that money stacked up. A Joe Rogan who signs $100 million contract with Spotify and gets paid, his eggs are all in one basket. I'm sure Joe makes money on other stuff, but if he was to fail on Spotify and in a couple of years they don't renew him, he's got $100 million. Like, what does he care, right? Like, he'll find something to do. But for those of you that maybe sell on a few platforms or do a couple things that make you a few thousand each, and that's how you live, if you lose one of those, it could be devastating, right? Like if you lose half your income or even a third of your income, it could be really, really bad. And so I think that a lot of you need to reach out to other platforms. I think you need to diversify in where you sell. I think you need to diversify in what you sell, like the type of merchandise. Start thinking about other items. Stop walking past stuff because you don't know anything about it. I think you guys also need to diversify and not just being resellers or maybe individual resellers. Maybe you want a wholesale inventory. Use my site to liquidate and wholesale to make some big sales to just move inventory, right? Maybe you want to go into consignment. Start talking to your friends and family and neighbors and having them let you sell their merchandise to do consignment. I've never been a consignment fan. I do it, but I'm just not the biggest fan of it. It's never been for me. It's very profitable. It's a good business for a lot of you guys, but it's just not something for me. But yeah, there's so many different angles you guys could go on. Maybe you want to start a YouTube channel like everybody else does in 2025, and you want to spend the next 6 weeks, this year prepping for it and learning what you need to do and getting your equipment and getting your audio or your video or your whatever set up so that you can be a YouTuber. Maybe you want to make TikTok content, become a TikTok affiliate, or open a TikTok shop, or whatever it is. There's so many things. Don't be intimidated just because you hear somebody say it and you're like, I don't know anything about TikTok shop or this or that. Go learn, go watch some videos, go research other people that do it. Look them up on YouTube, look them up on TikTok and Instagram, find out how people do things, ask questions. There's so many different things you can do to make money on the internet that have to do with reselling, entrepreneurship, that you can just go learn it and teach yourself. And it's not like it's, some people keep it as a gatekeeping secret, but it's easy to learn. It's not like it's impossible to learn all this stuff. We all taught ourselves mostly, but there's a lot of resources out that didn't exist 5-10 years ago when I started up all this stuff. So you guys are lucky if you're starting things now. You can usually find how to get started pretty quickly on the internet. So the moral of the story is always be looking for the next project, always be looking for things to add streams of income, projects. It doesn't mean you're going to get paid next week or next month. Like I said, most stuff takes time. If you start a YouTube channel tomorrow, you may not make money on it for 6 months, a year. It took me over a year till I started making like my first money. It was like, I think 9 or 10 months till I actually got a payout because it was like a $25 minimum. So that tells you right there, like just to hit the $25 minimum, I made videos for 9 or 10 months free of charge. Like I got nothing for it. And then by the end of the first year, like month 12, 13, I think the payout was like $100. So when you look at my first 12, 13 months, I made like $25 and then like $40 and then like $60 and then like $100, right? So it's very slow going. And even the second year, I want to say my average payouts were a couple $100. So when you total up what I made in the first 2 years of being on YouTube, it was maybe a couple thousand, $3,000, $4,000, couple $1,000, right? So it wasn't paying the bills. It certainly wasn't supporting me. It still doesn't pay the bills or support me. It's a nice chunk of change and a nice payout that does pay quite a few bills, but I can't support me on YouTube. Like there's some YouTubers out there making 10, 15, 20 grand in the reselling industry. They're YouTubers. They're not resellers, right? They don't do multiple 6 figures, and maybe some of them do, but I do multiple 6 figures. People ask all the time, do I make more on reselling or on YouTube? Far more on reselling. I've got My individual sales, eBay, Amazon, I've got my wholesale, my Shopify. I do way more direct sales to customers that buy direct things from me, my remote boxes. I do way more in reselling. I do multiple six figures in reselling. My YouTube channel, full transparency, ad revenues like 40, 50 grand a year on this channel. So yeah, I don't want to lose 40, 50 grand, but at the same time, my reselling makes me way more money. So, you know, these are things that you have to build. They don't happen overnight. A YouTube channel doesn't get monetized. You got to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. But, you know, a podcast, this podcast, even with my following and me promoting it, may not make money for 3 to 6 months. And I spent $1,300 on all this equipment, headphones and 4 microphones and a board and all that stuff. So it could take a year before I have the money back and I'm profitable. I don't know. It's just something I want to work on and see what happens. And it's something I love to do. And that's something I didn't touch on enough in this video already, is make sure whatever you're adding is not just adding it because you want to be the next YouTuber or the next TikToker or the next Mr. Beast or whatever. Do it because you actually like it. You actually love it. You actually think the idea of running a podcast or a YouTube channel or being a reseller on Amazon rather than eBay or both is something you would love to do. So that's another point of contention that I probably should have covered. But yeah, that's my lesson for you guys today, is to start planning your projects for 2025 now. You got 6 weeks to start getting set up, start thinking about new merchandise. You know, that's what's really great about reselling. It is one of the few businesses, not a podcast, not a YouTuber, not becoming a real estate agent, that takes weeks and months for you to build up any kind of income. You can go buy stuff at a thrift store, 20 items tonight. You can put them up online on eBay for sale, and you could sell one tomorrow and make money. So being a reseller on eBay and being somebody who flips stuff, you know, even direct on Facebook, you can start making money right away. It's one of the very few, you know, jobs or businesses that I can think of where you can instantly get paid. Amazon affiliates, where you link products for Amazon, somebody clicks on it and buys it, you get paid like a month later. Yeah, that's pretty quick, but it's still, you know, you got to have a following. You got to tell your friends and family. There's not many jobs that you can sell stuff and start getting paid in the next couple of days or weeks other than online selling. And I'm sure there's a few other, stock trading or crypto or whatever, but it's great. It's a great business we're in. Make sure you add inventory. All your eggs in one basket, bad idea. I know there's a lot of people that say you should be the master of one thing and just focus on that one thing. And I would have agreed with that back in the day. But nowadays, I feel like it's a bad idea. I feel like you want to start multiple projects and streams, have them all working together and doing the best you can on each one. Don't half-ass your jobs just so you have 10 streams of income. I don't want you to be, you know, on a 1 to 10 doing a 4 or 5 job on 10 different things. I want you to still do 9s and 10s. Put everything you have into it, but just don't have it all in one thing unless that one thing is gigantic and it takes all your time, but it provides you a, you know, ridiculous amount of money, because anything can go away. I have a stream of income that does $3,000 a month. And I always think, like, what if that goes away? Or what if it even gets cut in half and I lose $1,500 a month, right? Which is 18 grand a year. That's a big chunk of change. So I'm always looking for the next thing, the next project, and the next, you know, successful stream of income that I can add to my business. I think I covered everything for today. Just please adapt, guys. Please make sure you're always, you know, everything changes. That used to be my motto, but until they trademarked it. But now it's move on. If something's not working, move on for it. If it's only working part-time, move on to something else that you can add into it and help it, you know, be a full-time income, or, you know, work together as 2 streams or 3 streams or 4 streams to be your full-time income. As always, thank you guys for being here. I am going to put out the podcast information in the next coming days or weeks. We were trying to have it up for this election night, and we might have an election viewing party here. I'm not really sure. I got to make some texts and put out some texts and phone calls in the next hour or two. But unfortunately, the podcast isn't going to launch tonight. There's no way, especially with everybody just watching the election. It wouldn't make sense anyhow. But we're going to get it out by the end of the week or the weekend. And if you stay tuned to this channel and you subscribe, I'll put links in the description boxes of the videos, and I'll shout it out in all the videos I have coming up as soon as it launches. So you guys will be able to check it out. It's going to be chill. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fun, and I think everybody will enjoy it. And I would ask that you share it if you do once it's out. Other than that, please hit the like button. This video means a lot for me to make, to, you know, kind of teach you guys how my brain works. It's just a little inside behind the scene Rockstarflipper, like always thinking of the next thing and always trying to do, you know, things that I think will help the business. And if you could comment, do you like this audio better, or do you like the mobile audio that sounds kind of crisper? This kind of sounds podcast deep, right? So you guys listen to podcasts. I listen to them all the time. I love them. But I really like this mic. I do. And I think I might use the sounds, you know, more and more as the time comes on. There's lots of cool sounds that you can do, like
The voice change.
Anyways, be safe tonight, guys. Be nice to each other. Please comment down below. What projects are you planning on working on in the next couple of months as we go into 25? You plan on starting a YouTube channel, maybe a podcast? You planning on starting new selling platforms or new types of merchandise or wholesale? Let me know your thoughts and what you plan to do. I love to hear about it. I always talk about me and my businesses on this channel because that's why you guys are kind of subscribed here. But I would love to hear about all of y'all and what you are working on, because it does mean a lot to me to know what my audience is up to and what you guys have on your mind. But be polite, be kind, and don't attack each other in the comment section, especially if you mentioned tonight an election night. Thank you guys so much for being here. As always, don't forget, like button, subscribe, come back, see me next time. And until then, have a wonderful night, and I'll see you later.